Good morning, good afternoon, happy Tuesday, August 26th. Just a few more days left in August. Welcome all the solar entrepreneurs, power hitters, solar warrior tribe, all the power family. Like this video, comment, share this video with your fellow solarpreneurs. I'm joined as always with my co-host, Mr. Tom Cotter, who's has a cool hat on. Tom, what does your hat say?
Does it say spinning out waiting for you?
Spin out waiting for it. Is that what you tell your homeowners? I'm
My
gonna spin
follow-up.
out.
It's my follow-up hat.
That's your follow-up. I'm rocking the Gaiu construction hat on today. They're our Southern California premier installer. And we got some power swag on too, huh? Empower the
Yeah.
future.
Vanguard. Yeah.
All right. All right. All right. Well, we gotta hit 450 projects this month. So we've got like 4 or 5 days left. We are on target to do over 430, y'all. So who's ready? Type a yes in the chat, put a one in the chat. Who's ready to fricking hit 450 projects this month? We just got to turn it up. These last few days, the tax credit's going away. It's fricking time. Are you guys feeling the energy and the referrals? I know I am. Speaking of which, let's get into success stories as we always do every Tuesday. So, as you're thinking about successes and wins, raise your hand, type some in the chat, raise your hand, come off of mute here in a second. But we want to hear your successes. Did you go to a convention, an expo? Did you get ambassador signups? Did you get a referral? Tom's closing a deal potentially today. Bill had an event he went to. So I know, Bill, I think you have a share, Conley. Maybe let us know about that and three presentations to give if you're able to come off of mute, your success story.
Sure, sure. Hi, Jonathan. Yeah, on Saturday, I was actually I got invited because I have a Lucid and we have a Lucid uh, owners club deal going, and we did a rally from Hayward to Alameda, where the Electrify Expo was being held outdoors. And I think it was mostly a pitch for the EVs in the marketplace because they had every single EV you could imagine there, ones I had not heard of, and all the all the main the main suspects. So they also had folks promoting conversion, electrifying homes and things. And there are cities in Northern California that have mandated electric only. So we're seeing a big push to increase electrification on the grid, which only makes solar more advantageous. I think I have three people that are likely to go forward with solar with me as a result of that event. And that's how you do it. I think just be someplace and talk to people about solar, and places where people are using energy is a great place to be.
Awesome. Love that. Love that. Electric vehicle club, getting leads, helping pay for that expensive Lucid. Nice work, Bill.
Yeah, Lucid is an electric vehicle for those of you that can't see past Tesla. Yeah, I should have 13 kilowatt that's signing today. This is a different one. It's down in SDG&E. But interestingly enough, it was from a setter, and the setter posted on LinkedIn, and this was one of their connections. So that was how the lead came in. But it was a tax credit conversation to begin with, and then once we got into it and quoted him, he said, "Hey, do you have PPAs, leases, anything like that?" I said, "Yeah, why?" He's like, "Well, I owe money with the IRS, and actually the tax credit would complicate things. I'm trying to get things waived with them. So if I didn't have a tax credit to come into play, that would actually help me out with the IRS."
Hmm.
So we switched to a PPA, and we were somewhere 80 to, he didn't tell me exactly, but we were about 80 to $100 a month less than the other PPAs that he was looking at. So should be good to go to sign there. Not done yet, though. Not counting my chickens before they hatch.
Absolutely. I love that. I'm going to share a little secret I've been doing lately. Every time I sign up a customer, I let them know, and I put it in the chat for you guys. I let them know next steps. GoodLeap emailed you a state document. After you sign that, you'll get the agreement. Then you'll have to do a verification. You need audio and video to answer 5 questions correctly. Nothing outside of this was promised. I'm coaching them on what to do. And then we can get a site survey. I might have 1 or 2 more documents for you the coming days. And lastly, important part, here is that free awesome referral program to sign up for. And wouldn't you believe it, the last 3 customers all signed up for the ambassador program on the spot. So just something, even after 11 years, I'm like, I had just pulled that one out of the arsenal lately. I haven't really been doing that one as of late. So just a friendly reminder. Yeah, let's go. And I did close, I believe, like 5 deals last week as well. So I'm pretty pumped up, y'all. Any more success stories out there? Jordan,
We
Scott.
got some more people that joined. Surely there, Jordan's coming off mute.
Jordan, Scott, Colby and I have a presentation today that was a lead from Facebook from years and years ago. So social media works.
I got text. Yeah, I got a text last night for a client in Colorado, lead from Owen. Thank you, Owen. And I softest close I've ever tried to do with this client. Just like put it out there, put the numbers out there, made the guy kind of wait a day or 2 for it. And it's not a really big system, but I just threw it out there and he said, we've been putting a lot of thought into it and we want to move forward. And it shows that really we've got one of the biggest urgencies that we've ever had. I've got so many different proposals out there. I'm just sending proposals and texting numbers and not really doing full consults all the time at this point. I'm doing more of just like, let's jump on a call when you have questions, that type of deal where it's just a little bit less pressure, even though I am putting the pressure on some people to make a move. I'm not really needing to. Contracts are starting to just flow and we've got a great pivot here. I think we've been talking on the chat where it's been, the numbers are shaking out, like what's going to happen with Sungage and what's going to happen with TPO and all of that. We're 2026 is going to be just fine. Just put your head down and just go fast.
That's right. I like it. I like it. Good optimism and positivity there, Jordan. Glad you got a good sleep score and you woke up on the right side of the bed today.
I have a horrible sleep score, dude. 5 hours, but I saw the sunrise. That helps. I'm heading down to Carlsbad for a lunch and learn, and then I'm going to stop by corporate.
Nice. Awesome. Awesome. Colby closed a 23 kilowatt referral in Massachusetts. Holy cow. Let's go. All right. All right. Let's keep it going. Type more successes in the chat. We're going to move to Tom's Powur perspective of the week.
So I thought Alex Hormozi would be good to talk about since he's been everywhere. I don't know if you've seen him, but if you haven't, you probably haven't been on social media very much the last week or so. So he broke the Guinness World Record for the fastest selling nonfiction book. His $100 million Money Models sold nearly 3 million copies in a single day. And I know Bill Conley and I were both listening into his webinar. I'm sure some others were also. So no matter what you think about Hormozi, it was his webinar was a live demonstration that systems and story and execution work at delivering business results. So what you're going to see in this video isn't just theory, it's really a battle-tested strategy in motion. And I want you to listen in for the kind of the foundational principles that drive impact beyond just getting, eyeballs and attention on social media.
I can name some TikTokers right now that have 50 plus million followers that have had 13 failed launches because they have views, but they have zero influence. No one listens to them for their advice. And so in order to create influence, there's 4 things. So number 1 is, and so I just remember SPCL, right? So you have status. So somebody who controls scarce resources. So a bartender at a bar, there's alcohol behind them. It's a scarce resource. In the bar, they have status. When they walk outside of the bar, no one cares about them. But in the bar, they have status, right? So they give influence. The second is power. And so power is basically say-do correspondence, meaning if I tell you to do something, follow these instructions, and a good thing happens, then I'll increase the likelihood that you comply with requests in the future. And so, like, for example, Martha Stewart was the first self-made female billionaire. And I think there's a huge amount of reasons for that. And one of the biggest ones is that she literally gave people recipes, and they followed the recipes, and they had a good thing happen. And then people told them they were great, and this cake was great, and this lasagna was amazing. Their family, their friends, they also got status. So a massive good thing happened after following explicit directions. And so then when she said, follow my next directions and buy this thing, people said, okay, the last 10 times I did it, it worked. I'll do this too. And so that's why she had so much influence. The next is credibility, which is, do you have proof, right? Now, all of these can happen at the same time or separately. So I'm trying to give more isolated examples for each of them, but like one thing can check multiple boxes. So if I say, hey, I sold a company for $46.2 million, I have money, which is where status comes from, but I also have credibility that the stuff that I do works. I wouldn't have power yet, though, until I say, hey, if you take what you're currently doing and then add a bonus, urgency, scarcity, a guarantee, think about a value equation, all of a sudden you can sell it for way more money, and then you follow those instructions, and then you do make more money, then you're like, now I'll be more likely to comply with this person's request in the future. And so then that person gains influence. And then the fourth L is likeness, right? Do they look like me? Right? Do they act like me? Which is both, physical, but also psychographic. Like, do they share the same values as me? Are they similar? And so if I have two people that both have SPC, so they have status, they have power, they have credibility, and then one of them just also looks like me, I'm more likely to listen to that person. So each of these are additive. So if you have all four, you'll be more influential, right? We want to make content that is explicitly for a specific audience, and we want to demonstrate the proof that we've done, right? We want to have things that they want. We want to give them instructions that they follow, that the good things will happen for them, and we want to look like them. And if you do that, you have somebody who's going to make a lot of money from an audience.
So here's how we translate that into our work in solar at Powur. So status is where he started. So we control access to something that is scarce, trustworthy, clean energy solutions that, depending on the utility, the home, lock in savings, insulate families from rising electric costs, rate hikes, and if there's battery storage, protection from grid outages. We have power. When people follow our process of sending a bill, booking an appointment, participating in a proposal, they get a positive result even before they go solar. Rapport with the closer, education, understanding, and how solar works for their home and their utility, trust for our company, appreciation of our products, our warranty, and that all builds momentum for the next step of closing. And next is credibility. We've got a track record, 36,000 installs, premium partners, we've got proven savings for customers, good ratings, and so make sure that you are showing the proof, not just in the proposal, but afterwards as you're following up as well. And the last thing that he mentioned was likeness. People buy from people that they feel are like them. So whether you are sitting at somebody's kitchen table or whether you're on Zoom, you can mirror them. You can mirror their values. You can connect with their story. You can let them see themselves in you as you're doing discovery and you learn more about them. So before any conversation that you're having, ask, are you stacking status, power, credibility, and likeness? So, and I'm curious if anybody bought the Alex Hormozi program. If so, then put it in the chat. I'm just curious about that. Jonathan, back to you.
Nice. Good reminders, Tom. And the full podcast I put in the chat here, Diary of a CEO, Money Making Experts. So I saw that. I haven't watched it yet. I'll probably get through that in like 2 gym sessions on 1.3 speed audio.
Yeah, and if you want just this clip, I'll put that in there too.
All right, moving on. Quick updates here. As always, lots of great trainings in Powur Calendar. Tom is reviewing the top 10 things to master LightReach today. TPO and LightReach, especially if you're not in California, Hawaii, or Texas, is very important. Aurora workshop is back. Matt Gordon was on the Monday forum yesterday, just teaching how to use Aurora, which was awesome. And then September 2nd, Tuesday at 9, we have LightReach training the Powur field as well. Friendly reminder that there is a pricing feedback form. So we can put this in the chat. And if you have pricing feedback, competitor quotes specifically, let us know the state, the pricing category, the feedback, and attach any proposals or competitor quotes. We're always trying to improve our value proposition, help certain markets, equipment, offering, price. So please continue to give feedback and upload competitor quotes there. Also, just a few fast updates. Here is the newsletter from yesterday. Per usual, Jonathan is driving the urgency with the end of the year, the summer contest, and Powur World Virtual October 10th and 11th that you need to be at. And maybe there'll be a watch party in your area. You could go to a watch party in person and do that. Labor Day is coming up on Monday, so there's certain hours there. There's a cool image here you could share on social media. Sungage Financial has a new portal called Hive, Sungage Hive, and then they'll be requiring the recheck ID as well. The Powur World Virtual October 10th and 11th is called Shift Happens. See what I did there, Tom? Shift Happens.
I see what you did.
Yeah, I didn't do it. Cami Marketing Power. That's a pretty good slogan. I laughed when I saw that because the industry has sure had some shift happen, huh, guys and gals? All right, that is your newsletter and summer sales contest. We've got like 34 days to go. Julian Todd Borden is holding it down barely. Could potentially make $15,000. Byron in second, Mitchell and Brian Rohn there, Tyler and Mitch Casper holding it down. That's going to be a showdown, guys, for the top 6 spots there. Mike Craner, shout out, Eric Goldstein, Benita, Jordan Shaw, Jonathan Bernasso, woohoo. Everyone else, Audie, Jack Sneed, Drew, Jay Owen Carey, Rick Joseph, Jonathan Wilson, Brian Oates. All right, so that's the summer sales contest. Make sure you keep an eye on that. Lastly, before we get to the training, the social media shareable of the day is our ITC toolkit. So put it in the chat, go to knowledge base, type in ITC. We literally have like 2 to 3 weeks to go. So here is all the beautiful posts, square size, portrait size for stories. Powur's done it for you. There's even scripts you can post. So obviously that's the social media shareable of the day because the tax credit's going away. Even the PPA and leasing programs, especially the safe harbored programs, Powerwall 3, Qtron programs, literally has a limited few weeks left to sign up. The urgency and summertime and end of year is happening. December has rain and holidays and cities are closed. Throw out December out of your mind, Mr. Homeowner. We need to put in your application today to get you in the back of the line and get you started to lock in this deal. And we can make, decisions as we move forward. So let's get you locked in. Let's submit the application. So of course, take, leverage that and the urgency that we have right now. All right, Tom, I'll let you take it away. But again, before, Tom takes it away, LightReach is very important because TPO is the future. Coming Q4 and beyond, TPO is likely the future for most states. And right now, with the Q-Cell debacle with inventory low, you need to know about LightReach and non-domestic product and how the price is really not that much different to use non-domestic products. So we're going to learn a little bit about LightReach and the importance of it and more. Type questions in the chat. We'll do Q&A towards the end. Tom Cotter. Take it away.
Thank you, sir. I'm curious, put a L in the chat if you've quoted or sold a LightReach project. I'm just curious. Bill Conley has, Bernasso.
Actually, I've sold, yeah.
Yeah, sold. Okay. So I got an example here, Testy Tester, the infamous customer that has never gone solar in many decades, but keeps getting quotes and is in lots of trainings. So, yeah, like Jonathan mentioned, LightReach is a good product that we have. A lot of people haven't used LightReach until recently because the GoodLeap integration in Vision is just so smooth and easy to use. And this is a different system to use, whether it's Vision, Vision Light, and then using Aurora to quote these out. I'll keep an eye on the chat as well if questions come up. But I wanted to walk you through this. The first thing to do is in Vision is to request an Aurora proposal. You can do that even before you have a Vision proposal. You do not need a standard Vision proposal to quote LightReach. What will come back is a proposal in Aurora, and you will go into design. It'll come back designed from the team. And you can see that I've got panels on the roof here. Actually, there was more panels on the roof. I deleted some of them. And you can just, actually, you can even just copy and paste these. Move them around and copy and paste. And get whatever kind of design you want, right? So in this one, if I highlight everything, it says I've got 21 panels over here. If I want to, while it's highlighted, if I want to switch my panels to something like Longy, if they're available for that market, check the Powur dashboard or check the email that went out or check Vision Light, and you can see which ones are available. I'll go back to the other ones here, the JA405s. So once you get your design in LightReach, you can go over to back to Powur, and you can use either Vision or the fastest thing is Vision Light. So if you click on that, it'll bring up all of the pricing. You can see it still knows who we're even talking about with Testy Tester. And the available panels for this market are the JA405 and the Jinko 430. JA are a lower cost. 38 cents, I think, in this market. So you just put the quantity of the modules, and I'll make this a little bit larger here for everybody. So I want to mention too, has anyone used the Tesla standalone inverter in a non-storage product yet? If not, I'd highly recommend looking at it. We had a training on that a couple of weeks ago with Stuart from Tesla. I'm sure Jonathan can put the link in here. But if you start typing, it should, there it is. If you start typing stand, it'll show up. There's one of those. And then you want to make sure that you put any backup or EV charger in there if you've got any of those. Smart panel. So you can see all of our adders that are in here. This is in Florida, so I'm going to put in a light electrical work that could tie into a line tap that's needed. So that will put in our cost there. And that's it. So you put in your panels, your inverter, your quantities, any other things that you're including, any adders, click calculate, and you've got your quote right there. So 318 is our pricing, and that is 21. I changed this. Yep, 21 panels. Okay. So now what you want to do is you want to put in whatever kind of margin you want. Okay. So this is in Florida. It's a smaller system, trying to show savings here. So we're going to put 65 cents a watt. That's going to be a project margin of 55.28. And when you click view and save, this is what you want to upload to the assets tab in Powur, so that you have a record of your pricing, all of the adders that you included, everything else. So if you click this print icon, it's going to download a PDF that you can then upload to assets. So you always want to make sure you do that when you're using Vision Lite, so that you have a record of what the heck you priced out, because once you go away from this, it's not going to be there anymore. Okay. And you upload that to the assets tab in Powur. So now we know what our price is, right? We've got $2.86 a watt. We've got our margin commission built in. We've got our adder built in with light electrical work. Good to go. So if we go over here to Aurora to get this pricing in, actually, I want to show one other thing here. So when you get your quote from Aurora back, it's going to probably default to in phase for the microinverters. And so if you, I'll just show you what that looks like here. And see, let's just use this. So this is what it'll look like. So when you highlight all of these, it's going to show your microinverter over here. We don't have in phase in this design, right? We use the Tesla standalone inverter. So we need to add that in here to get better pricing. And how we do that is we want to remove the microinverter. And then we want to go over to components, select inverter. And in the drop-down, you'll see this Tesla 7.6 kilowatt. So that's the standalone inverter that you would use here. So click off of that, click create. And now we have this inverter right there. You can move it around if you want. One of the things, I've been testing this both ways, and Aurora support told me that I definitely need to manually string this, because if you try to run auto stringer, you're going to get an error here. You're going to get an error. So auto stringer doesn't support asymmetric inverters. So then you're like, shoot, well, what the heck do I do? You need to manually string that sucker. So if you select everything, if you go over to manual string, you can just click on the panels here. And depending on what roof face they're on, you can string the ones that likely have the most production string together. So I'm going to hit escape right now and string the rest of these. Hit escape. And now everything is strung together manually. So it's a little bit different than some of our other products on there. But if you want to delete that, you can go up to electrical string, you select that, and then you can delete those if you want to change those or pull those out. Aurora support told me that we needed to manually string those every time. I've tried it both ways, and there wasn't necessarily a difference in production or anything else. So I'm not sure which one is actually correct. Safest thing is to manually string them. Okay. So what I did here is, after we got our inverter selected, I clicked on simulate system, and that is giving us our production so that the PPA or lease pricing can be calculated. Yeah, I'm just checking the chat here. Thanks, Jonathan. Yes, the minimum string length is 3 panels. That's why when you go into, it'll be red until you get to 3 panels, and then it turns green. So thank you, Colby. That's good to note. All right, so now we've got our inverter added. If we go up to pricing, we can get our pricing. We'll save progress. And what we want to do is to match our pricing to exactly what it showed in Vision Light, which is $2.83, which again has our margin built in, the one adder that we put in this project, specific equipment, and counts as well for each of those. So look a little bit different up here, but you're going to click in the upper right-hand corner to adjust your pricing. If not already selected, it defaults to cash. You want to select Palmetto LightReach, and you'll have your different options here. If you already have pricing selected, just select the edit button there. And these are important. So does this design have electrical upgrades? Only check yes if you are 100% sure that it has electrical upgrades. What that is going to do on the back end is add up to 3 cents per kilowatt hour on your pricing so that you can increase the price a bit. But if you don't actually have an upgrade, then you'll have to re-sign that project and you may not be able to get the same pricing. So you would have to lower your project cost if you maxed it out at 3 cents more than what it normally shows. And the reason for that is just with LightReach pricing on the back end, okay? If it has a battery, you can add that as well. You're gonna click next. And then this is gonna load all of the pricing, and what we're gonna do is select the one that gets the closest to $2.83 for this example. Man, it's starting to get hot outside, Jonathan. It's like 70. Temperature's gone up 3 degrees outside since we started working here.
Humid.
Humid. Okay, so we were at 283. You could do 274, but most people, when they're selling LightReach, they round up a little bit. So we would select $2.89. That payment we can see right here is going to be $131 a month. And it's going to go up by 2.99% is the escalator that we picked on this, and start at solar rate's going to be 12 cents per kilowatt hour. So now we've got our pricing built in. Ignore this gross PPW price up here. You're just going to use the pricing that you put in. And once you're sure that that everything is dialed in here, that this is what you want to go with, you can click on go into sales mode. This is the mode that you would be showing to a homeowner when you are presenting to Testy Tester. You can use this as your proposal. I still like the idea of using a separate slide deck that we trained on last month that has a little bit more details. You probably want to customize it for TPO, but you can use this as your only proposal tool that you're showing to them if you want to. You can see it mirrors some of the things in our vision proposal. And you can see that this is the design that we've got. You can click on the icon in the upper right-hand corner, and you can do some interesting things with this by showing them. I'm clicking and dragging this. You can show them the 3D model. You can show them LiDAR if it's available for their area. So this is satellite imagery that is ortho-rectified is the technical term for it. It basically shows the height of everything in this surrounding area. So you can see that, they really don't have shade that is on that roof, right? And you can also show, turn off and on irradiance. You can show them the sun path as well. You can play, 6-month sun path as it goes over their house. I don't know too many people that use that one, but LiDAR and irradiance is the one that I like the most. If you've got those manually strung, it will show the stringing on there as well. So that's kind of your choice of whether or not you want to show that. Any questions about what I just showed you all there?
Tom, real quick on the, you just did a light adder for electrical.
Uh-huh.
Would you, in the case of your check boxing electrical adders, you would put it as no, or would you put it as yes as your answer for electrical adders? I thought I was instructed no, we shouldn't do it. Like if they have a MPU for sure, yes, you check the
Yes,
yes
correct.
box. But
Yeah,
in the case
if
of
it's for
light
sure an
electrical,
MPU, or it could be a sub panel. I think there's 5 or 6 things that it could be. I don't know for sure that this needs a line tap or any light electrical work. I just built that in to protect my margin. But I don't, if you go to your pricing, I don't really need that extra 3 cents on this one. It really only becomes a thing if you need to get your price per watt a bit higher. I'm at 289. I can go up to 434, so I don't need an extra $4.37 that I could go up to, right? That's what that extra electrical adder button would do. If I click that, is give me 3 more cents that I could go up to.
right, because the downside is that if you don't need it and it's in there, you're gonna have them re-sign the docs, right?
Yes.
So,
and I, in talking with
just want to
Danny,
make that point clear.
Yeah, in talking with Danny last week, the main thing is if you click yes, if it's not needed, even if it doesn't impact price, it impacts the process on the back end. If there is no electrical work that's needed, extra electrical. Okay. Thank you for the question.
I have a question, Tom.
Yes.
There is no adder for the roof. I mean, if it's not shingle.
No adder for the roof if it is not shingle. Adder, roofing type. We've got concrete tile. We've got all of our normal roofing type adders right here in Vision Light.
Okay, so there wasn't any adder for the shingle. Okay.
Yes, there's never been an adder for just asphalt, comp shingle roof. Only if it's concrete tile, metal, or one of the others.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
And there is not, there's not a Powur Care, adder in here as well, because this is TPO, and we're not doing that with TPO. All right, let me give you a couple more things. I've got a list that I wanted to go through here. My first ever Aurora quote that I got back was broken and would not work. And I'm going to show you why it would not work. When you get your design back, whoops, let me exit out of sales mode. When you get your design back, one of the things that I have learned to always check is to go to where the pre and post solar rate is found, and just to make sure that this is listing the correct utility. In some markets, there's multiple utilities that could be there, and sometimes Aurora doesn't save the same utility that we've got in the platform here, right? So make sure that you've got your site under site info, you've got the correct utility there, because that should pull into Aurora, but it can create problems or pricing differences, or products may not be available in that market. So just make sure that you've got the correct utility that's listed there. This one, I didn't do that because this is a test, but for those of you who have been doing this for a while, annual energy estimate is one way to do it, but I think a much more accurate way is to show a monthly estimate with 12 months of usage listed for each month. And it's been a while since I showed this tool, But let's take a look at good old web plot digitizer. I will put this in the chat for everyone. Let me show you why I like this. Many times you will get back a utility bill that has 12 months or 24 months of bar charts on it of usage history, but they only give you the kilowatt hours for the last billing cycle. And, you know, I see people, you know, holding up pieces of paper to their screen to try to line up the bar chart and guess, you know, what the right kilowatt hours is, right? So this was a tool that I started using a while back, and I'm just going to give you a demo of how to use this to find the right. You know, I got way too big of a web plot.
Maybe pull up the 12-month chart so I can take a screenshot and we can see if ChatGPT gets close to your number.
Yes. Hold on, it's not letting me. Okay. Downloads, desktop. Never mind, we're going to do it a different way. For some reason, it's not letting me. So I'm going to drop this over here. Cancel. Cancel. So you can take a screenshot of that bar chart, and I will post it in chat as well, so you can try that, Jonathan. See whose is more accurate. There we go. All right, so all you want to do is take a screenshot. If you don't know how to take a screenshot on your phone or your computer, you can Google that.
Are there numbers along the far left axis that aren't shown in this image, or are we just going, oh, okay, tricky.
Nope. But so let's just assume that.
So the far J blue one is, you have a certain number for it?
Yeah, 13, hold on, 13,000. Let's assume 1,400 kilowatt hours, okay? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna click with the mouse on the bottom of this month that we know the bill for. We said 1,300, right? Is that what we said? What did I tell you, Jonathan, just now? 1,300?
Either that or
1,400.
1,400 is what I said? Okay, couldn't remember. So we're going to define this length as 1,400. We're going to click calibrate. And then we are going to go over to the first month of the year, which is January, February, March. We're just going to click on January, February, March, April, May. And you can see in the upper right-hand corner that I'm trying to line these up, right? July. We're going to skip this because it's a duplicate. We're just going to do 12 months and go from July to August. After we got all those, we got 12 months now. We're going to click View Data, download CSV, go over to sheets.new is how to start a new sheet. And I'm going to upload this. And it's going to take just a second to come in here. Data set. We're going to replace the spreadsheet, import data. And now we've got our 12 months. If you want to make this fancy, you can just type the first 2 months, highlight those, drag it down, click this, reduce the decimal places. If I want to add these up, sum that up there. And now I've got Now I've got a spreadsheet that I can copy and paste that link to, post it in the project handoff notes. And when I go to proposal, I can actually show them the numbers of what their kilowatt hours are. And if I wanted to add in electric vehicle usage or do other things, I can do that in this sheet as well. Okay. Jonathan, is yours still thinking?
Yeah, chat's a little bit off right now.
Claude is potentially a little bit more accurate than ChatGPT at pulling out the image and the data, but I still like ChatGPT. So what I would do here is I would just go and look at these, month by month, and enter in, our month by month usage here in Aurora. So hopefully that is helpful.
What was the total there, Tom?
Total was 11,567.
Okay, got it.
So I'm going to post in the chat a couple resources that I think are helpful for this kind of section of Aurora. The first one is utilities. So not all utilities are supported by LightReach. There's a lot of them, right? But I was just working on one in Colorado and not able to figure out what was going on. Well, the utility wasn't supported there. So you can check on that. That's a good kind of bookmark thing to save if you've got a question. And related to manually stringing those panels for the Tesla inverter, I'll post one for that as well. So we talked about Vision Light. We talked about checking the utility in Aurora. We talked about monthly versus annual usage with WebPlot Digitizer, manually stringing the Tesla inverter. We looked at irradiance and LiDAR. That's just a really good tool to have. Even if you are not pitching LightReach, if you request a proposal and get the shade report as a PDF uploaded to assets, that's a really good resource to use to kind of show your competence and your thoughtfulness as you do designs that you can use in your proposal. Okay, back to Aurora. So we talked about that. We talked about sales mode. Let's look at application now. Somebody wants to apply. So Friday night, 9 o'clock, I was on Zoom with a homeowner in Colorado, and they got declined when we applied. Okay, so oh, I think it's because I took out my my electric usage here. Let's put in our electric usage back again. Annual. Done. So when you are ready to apply, you can, let me recalculate this. So the apply button will show up. When you're ready to apply, there are cosigner options for you that the cosigner does not need to live in the home. One of the people who is on the application needs to live in the home, but not both. It can be a domestic partner, it can be a spouse, it can be a family member. So cosigner is when you click apply now, it's going to show the details for cosigners right on this application, which is helpful. Right there we go. So you can see right here, it must be an immediate family member. Have to use a different email address. either applicant can be credit qualified. One of the things that I did on Friday night is when they applied, they failed. And they supposedly had a score of 649. And you need a 670 score to qualify for LightReach. We didn't know exactly what their score was initially, but when we used Experian with them, the Experian Boost, so in the proposal, they downloaded the Experian app on their phone, created an account, logged in, went to Tools, clicked on Experian Boost, entered in some of their accounts that they're paying on a regular month. And it took about a half hour for them to do. They were a little bit slow on their phone, but it actually boosted their credit score by 8 points in 30 minutes. They still weren't up to, the 670 requirement, but it's a great tool to have to boost somebody's credit score who is right on the edge. So what we did is we pivoted to SunGauge when we were in proposal. And so this is the same proposal that we just looked at, but instead of being in Vision Light, it's in Vision. And you can see if you go to pricing, we've got our pricing down below here. We got zoom in the way. Pricing, yeah, it's the same margin, same cost, so we should be good there. So what was our payment in Aurora? It was 130, 30 something and change. You go back here to, so this was pretty close to the same price. It's a SunGauge 3.99 for 25 years. So that's the pivot is, LightReach is going to be a 670 FICA. If you, 131. So this one was at 133. So, the advantage of SunGauge is there's not an escalator on this. With LightReach, we had a 2.99. If they can use this tax credit and apply this tax credit, this is a good pivot, to switch over to. Payment's about the same. It's not going to go up by 2.99%, and the lower credit threshold of 640 means more approvals. All right. One more thing, and then we will be done in Aurora. Let's go back to the proposal. Exit this. One of the things that's happening right now is modules are changing a lot, right? We've seen the emails and the meetings about that. So if you have a design where the right modules are not showing up, if you copy that design, create a new design, if you copy this, that will force an auto refresh and the correct modules should show up. Design 2. So you can do it that way, or if you need to, you can go into your proposals and you can request a revision for your Aurora proposal. But the easiest thing to do is just to duplicate it, and then it should show up. And then you've got 2 different designs that you could select from. If you are wanting to have some different layout options, maybe some different equipment, it's easy enough to switch back and forth between escalators. But if you want to have different designs, that's an easy way to do it too. I could delete some of these modules on the roof, and this could be my design 2. That's a smaller system. You could do it that way too. All right. What questions do you all have, if any? Hopefully that was some new things for some of you. I'm sure those of you who use LightReach a lot, that it was not a lot of new information there. Any special thing we need an adder for ground mount? The domestic ground mount, I believe, is removed. So we no longer need to use domestic content. So there's no domestic ground mount adder, but you would want to put in the ground mount, just the standard ground mount adder for that. And is Franklin allowed? That's a good question. Let me look. I'll tell you. I'll reshare my screen here. Reshare. So how to figure out if Franklin is allowed? We would go to system design, storage, save this sucker, and we would see if Franklin. So for this market, Florida, we've got self-consumption or energy arbitrage. I don't see any Franklin in this market. I don't know if that is market dependent at all.
Doesn't matter if you click on yes for backup.
Oh, yes. Self-consumption. We want to do energy arbitrage. I'm not seeing Franklin in there. I don't think Franklin's in there. Maybe we should ask about that.
Yeah, it might not be on the AVL.
Yeah, I think it would be though.
AVL is approved vendor list, so TPO providers have to have approved products, just FYI. And if you're going to be selling TPO outside of Cali, Texas, and Hawaii, then you have to know how to use LightReach and Aurora, everybody. This is definitely a sophisticated, advanced solar professional tool that we need to get behind.
Yeah, I mean, I have not been using LightReach that long. If you just spend, an hour or two in it, you'll get pretty proficient in it. If you've got any questions, we've got the Thursday TPO workshop that you can attend with Monty and Matt. And then Danny White from LightReach is doing the LightReach training for us every 2 weeks. And that's on Powur Calendar as well. Jonathan, any last thoughts here? I don't see any other questions in the chat.
No, I don't either. Next, just obviously thank you for showing Aurora and LightReach and explaining this tool, as we need to have TPO moving forward. And just a quick shout out that next Tuesday, September 2nd, the day after Labor Day, enjoy the holiday weekend, but we'll be back at it with Enphase. They have new meter collar backup switches approved in new utilities in California and new batteries that are pretty nice looking. They're expensive, but join us next week, Tuesday, for Enphase. The following week, we'll be talking about social media. And the following week, we have an awesome roofing training lined up for you guys. So stay tuned for more Tuesday trainings. I just want to point out. Any other questions? Check in the chat. Any questions outside of this? What's up, Owen?
So have you done any checks on buyout costs between LightReach and GoodLeap, or are they both comparable?
I've only seen GoodLeap recently. About a month or two ago, GoodLeap did lower their buyout and prepaid numbers in the agreement. They lowered quite a bit, so they're actually not that bad. I would say something like the GoodLeap buyout in 5 years is like paying full price cash today. So obviously it's going to be more, but it's still a great option to have. So I don't know about LightReach though. That might be pretty cool to do a comparison.
On the buyout, I noticed even on if you bought it year one, that the price was like 17 grand more than the cash price today.
Well, there's that's probably prepaid, Owen. So there's the prepaid years 1 through 25, and then there's a buyout starting year 5 and after. So yeah, you're probably right. If you're prepaying a 25-year agreement with monitoring, battery replacement, insurance, everything, it would sound accurate that it's thousands of dollars more than the full price today. Is that good, Leap?
Yeah, that's good. But I didn't realize if you pre-bought it that you get all those warranties with it. I'm just thinking for the future with tax credits, if there's going to be just a pre-bought system, so Goodleaf gets a tax credit and then warranties are not covered.
With the buyout, I believe it normally voids the warranties with the buyout starting at year 5 or at time of sale. With the prepaid, meaning during their agreement, they decide to prepay the remainder of the lease payments, the 25-year warranties are still honored. So I just want to make sure
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the way that prepaids have always functioned, right?
Correct. Yeah. So I just want to make sure everyone understands there's prepaid, the remainder of the lease payments for 25 years, agreement still honored. And then there's a buyout at year 5 and beyond, or at time of sale. Those are two separate things with the TPO product. I do love me some Good Leap contracts though.
Yeah, the prepaid system that I put on my house in 2013 still has 13 approximate years of warranty left. Yeah. All right. I think we can stop this recording.
Yep. Quick little tidbit. If someone wants to attend 12 o'clock Pacific here in an hour, Good Leap is having a State of the Union call, a webinar navigating the big, beautiful bill and state policy changes. A friend of mine, Julia Piper, will be running that. She is amazing. Good Leap's VP of Public Affairs. The link is in the chat. I'll be on for the first 30 minutes of that. And let's end the month frickin' strong. Let's have a Labor Day promotion. Let's follow up with every lead. It's summertime. We've got only a few weeks left before the ITC signups are done. Let's get after it, team. Let's go.